What do we have here? We got the Petrified Fish 919. I've looked at this one before, reviewed it, and it's really nice. It's got a nice, smooth action. It's got a nice sound. It's got a nice little clacky sound. Kind of like it in general. I don't love this hump right here.
My hump, 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 my lovely lady lumps. Check it out.
I know some people love it. I think I'm going to cut it down. I do mods all the time on knives. I mod them. Why? Why are we modding stuff? When I look at it, this part here seems too fat to me. So I kind of drew some lines here. I'm not going to cut the whole thing, but I'm going to put a chamfer there. And it's going to make it look smaller because it's chamfered. Kind of like this part is already chamfered. So we're going to do some mods today on this guy right here.
It's mod day.
Now, why do I want to do mods? Why do I like modifying knives? They're fine the way they are. A lot of people say that, They're like,
if you don't like the knife, why'd you buy it?
or,
If you don't like it, sell it and buy one you do like.
they're like, this knife had a designer. Who's a designer? I'm not sure who designs Petrified Fish knives. They probably have some designers. Maybe some are in-house, some are not. But okay, here's a CRKT Crossbones. Now that has a designer. It's Park, some guy named Park. I think he's a Hawaiian dude, and he designed this thing. So, should I go and start putting little scalloped edges on the blade, or I don't know what I would do to mod this because it's so skinny and it's also so cool already. To me, it doesn't matter if the knife has a designer or not. It just matters if I like it the way it is, or if I'd rather have it be a little different to fit my taste better. That's the only thing that matters to me. I don't consider myself disrespecting someone's, designs by changing it. A lot of people change their knives. They, get it Cerakoted, or they get it different scales put on it or whatever. This one is a Tucson that I have no idea who designed it, but I love the way it's shaped. I'm sure it was in-house, an early Tucson design. This one, I don't really want to change because it works for me. I like it a lot. I think it's neat. Even though this is a little ugly, there's nothing I can do with it. I can't cut that down because it'll just make it an open hole, and that would be no good. That's what I would cut down if I could do anything. Cut that thumb stud down a little bit. Or, I'm sorry, flipper tab down a little bit. I don't have very many knives out here. I'm sure someone designed this end cut. They did a good job, though, so I don't really need to change anything on that. But plenty of knives I want to change. I want to change it just a little bit so they're more the way I like it. What's in my pocket? This guy. This is a really cheap Woo-Boo. Not a Coon Woo, but a Woo-Boo. Boy, it's got sweat on it. Gross. Yeah, I kind of like it the way it is. I'm not going to change it. What's in my other pocket? Oh, yeah. I like this Tucson a lot. But it has a couple of little minor things that need to be changed. That inset lock bar is a little pointy. Okay, it needs to be beveled a little more. And this could be beveled on the inside a little more so you have a little more access to it. Other than that, yeah, I like it a lot the way it is. Maybe we'll polish this and put some anno on it or something. But yeah, this one doesn't need, but I wanted to have some changes done to it. This one definitely has a designer. It's Beg Knives. It's one of their more budgety ones. Only 125 bucks for D2 and G10. A little overpriced, but hey, I like it a lot anyway. And that's, he's a pretty famous designer. Designs all kinds of stuff. But, it doesn't have thumb studs. It needs them, so I'm going to put some on it. Maybe I'll do some kind of texturing on this inset part here that's not really separate, but would be cool if it looks separate. Maybe I'll color and dye the scales. We'll do something with this one because it's a little boring the way it is, and I can't. It's broken. There's no thumb stud. You can't even use the dang fuller to reverse flick it. The fuller's down too far, so a little thumb stud right there will rock. It'll be awesome. All right, let's get down to this Petrified Fish. What do we need to do to this guy? Well, we got to take it apart. Maybe I'll grind on that first. So I put a mark here. Kind of what I was thinking. Let's see. Yeah. So we'll just run this top line down and have it get skinnier and skinnier till it gets about here. Then it's going to turn up a little bit and be a little harpoon right there at the end. Not a big giant rhino horn thing. It'll be a little small harpoon tip instead. That'll kind of get the blade to look more like it's going downward too. With this, it almost looks like the whole thing's curving up, which I don't love also. Yeah, and then we'll do the we'll take it all apart and do a little scalloping on this on these scales to make it feel nicer and just look nicer.
Let's get ready to modify!
So I might fast forward 2 parts, I might skip 2 parts, so we'll see, and then you'll see how it turns out. So take a good look at it, because it's going to look different. This blade got a little bit of track wear from the bearings. You can see where the track of the detent ball rides around here. Where that can get polished a little more, it might be a little smoother on the drop sheddiness factor. I'll get over and take this guy and grind that down the way I want it. So let's see what we can do. Just warm, but we'll go ahead and dip it in some water anyway. Get that water where you can see it. Just dip it in some ice water so it doesn't stay hot. It's going kind of slow. I think I might change the barrel here, the sanding thingamajigger, to something new, because this one's either worn out or it's too fine or something. So let me look. Yeah, that one's kind of a fine one. It's also kind of worn too, so I'm going to put that one up and try something a little rougher. This guy takes off material fast. So you really got to dip fast in between when you're hitting it. And you got to kind of move it around. You don't want to set it in one spot or it's definitely going to burn the metal. This is definitely a rough work unit. You'll want to hit this later with something else, like that rotary or like that barrel sander or something else to kind of clean it up later. Maybe a belt sander, something like that. Usually, like that line will be crooked, it'll be diagonal or something because it's hard to keep it parallel. So I could just be cutting this thing flat down until I hit that point where I want my new tip to be, but I'm taking it down, leaving the tip up, so I kind of see what it's going to look like before I even get to it, so that I don't cut it too far and have it to where I can't make a little harpoon tip anymore because I've cut it too far. Let's see how hot that is. It's probably pretty hot. No, not too bad. Okay. So that's about as long as I want to do it between dunks. Just that one little run there was it. And I want to make real sure that I don't bump into this corner right here. Although I might sand all this silver. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this thing. It's going to be silver there. Yeah, maybe I'll just silver all the top and then this flat part right here. Leave this black and that little bit of angle right there black. We'll see. We'll see if I can do that. That's maybe what I want to do. That's my optimum outcome, but we'll see. Boy, that thing is fast. That's cutting metal way faster than the other tools I have. The belt sander wouldn't be nearly that fast. Drum sander either. This is the fastest thing I have other than a little cutoff wheel on an angle grinder. Something like that. It's getting close. See, I want this to be going downhill compared to this line. I want this line to be kind of getting shorter and shorter and then turn up right there at the end. So we're getting close. Man, I screwed up. Look at that. I touched it right there. So now I definitely have to clear all that. I think I was going to have to anyway. I got to keep it at more of an angle, not like this, because it ran into that corner right there. So I got to keep it more like this. Getting really close. Something like that. Maybe a little further down. Yeah, a little further down right there. Touch it again right there. God dang it, man. It's hard not to do. I think that's about it. I think that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, kind of like it. Looks like a dragon head or something. I don't know. I'm going to touch that up on the belt sander now. I lied. We're not going to do the belt sander. We're going to do a little bit on this barrel sander. So you can still see the lines from the grinder right there, and then this one is smoothing it out. And that's the smoother lines on the right side. So it's getting there, but it still has all those little rough lines. Right there. Why this thing won't focus? Right there. Nah, it just won't focus. Fucker. Yeah, there we go. So we can see that that's the leftovers of those bad lines, and there's that one little hit, the worst one. The other one got taken out already. I can't quite get into that corner with the sander unless I get rid of some of that corner, because the sander is too big in diameter to go in there. It's going to take the top off of that thing. I'm not sure if I want to do that or if I like it is. Yeah, I don't know. So now I got this hot mess of a setup just to kind of finish it off, because it's hard to finish when you're between two kind of rolling points. It's hard to get this area flat while this area has like sort of a, you know, a contour to it. So I got this guy set up, and my thinking is I'm going to put it here. It's just a piece of square wood with some sandpaper wrapped around it, 220. I can't quite get it super flat. It's kind of puffed up, but I think it'll still work. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to keep it as flat as I can. I'm just going to go back and forth until it runs into the two sides. They're like little ramps. And then I'm going to move it over to get some fresh paper. I'm going to try and not go over the top of this one, because if I go over the top of it, I'll start rounding off that corner. I want it to be kind of sharp, you know, like a harpoon tip, whatever. But as it rolls up into this curve, it will kind of sand that curve some, you know, even though it's not going all the way up in there. Some. It's pretty important to really get those deep, funky scratches out. It just won't look good if you kind of get it halfway, half-assed, and it still has, you know, this is getting pretty good, but it still has a couple of funky spots right there. And up in this thing, it's really starting to look pretty good though. Yeah, it's going to be nice. And I can even do this flat part here. Just have to make sure I keep it real flat and don't stick the tip of the knife into the sandpaper, so I keep the tip just off the edge. Doesn't take too much to finish sand something when you have it pretty darn close on the machines. That's the important part. You want to get it really close on the machines. You can still see plenty of across scratches going this way. My new scratches are going this way, which is the way I want it. There's still plenty going the other way that I can see, so just do a little more and it'll be good. Now, if you wanted to, and you probably should, and I probably should, take some painter's tape and tape along this sharp edge so that you don't accidentally cut yourself. I mean, you can still cut yourself. If you press hard enough on it, it's going to cut you. But if you wrap some tape around it, now be real careful when you're taping up blades, especially if they're D2 or any of the rustable metals. If you get, a drop of sweat down in there under your tape as you're taping it, it's going to sit in there and kind of cook the metal until it has lots of yummy rust on it. And then you'll pull your tape off an hour later or two and go, what the hell happened to my knife? It had no rust, now it's rusted. Why would tape make it rust? It's not the tape, it's something you trapped under the tape, something like that. Okay, so now I have less chance of cutting myself. I was feeling a little vulnerable, like I was watching a chick flick. Now, if you're real persnickety, you want to make sure you don't go crooked sideways while you're sanding stuff, because it'll actually make little crooked sideways lines. Still one little dimple right about there. This one's looking pretty good, but maybe a little bit right there in the center. Still got to get these guys, although they look pretty good. I might just leave those areas alone. They look pretty good now. Whoopsie. You can also do this. You just got to be real careful not to jab that tip into the sandpaper. Yeah, I think that one's good enough. I'm going to hit this one for just a few more seconds, and then we're just going to be okay with it. Whatever imperfections are left. I mean, it's a $35 knife. I want it to look really nice, but I'm not going to spend hours making sure every little divot and every little scratch that's at the wrong grit is out of there. So I'm dumb. I have my old man glasses on. I never even put them on to look. Yeah, it's still got a couple scratches in it. Damn. After knowing I shouldn't have put the glasses on, I wouldn't have seen it, and I would have thought, wow, it's great. A couple right there, and a couple right there. Alright, I'll hit it for like 1 more minute. If it doesn't, oh, you know what, I'll get some fresh sandpaper by just giving it a turn. Okay. So I'm going just across the flat of that wood, like this. Thing is being a real pain in the ass. Well, I know I won't be able to see it if I have my glasses off, so that might have to be good enough. Those scratches are little bitches. I'm just going to try and keep it real straight now and just put a final little sanding on it, just real straight, and then call it a day. Yeah, I like it. Good enough. Not bad. Now I can actually put a little bit of a bevel on this part by going at a little bit of more of an angle like this. Putting a little bevel on it just so it's not sharp on that edge, and then same thing on this side. And then the same thing up here. And then the same thing on this one. You got to watch out that you're not sanding down onto the black if you wanted to keep the black. But yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Now, whoa! So fucking annoying, man. Oh. Whoa! So fucking annoying, man. That was my drink. So that's it for part one. I busted up my Yeti, but got the blade done. So we'll work on the handles next time. Have a nice day.